Hey everybody, Julie Quinn here, and we are in the middle of English 122's first week. So if you're watching this video, it's a tutorial on how to submit your 1-6 assignment writing notes and where to find the readings. And so normally, as you work your way through the week, you go into announcements and then you choose learning module. And then you go to week 1. Let me actually see if I can get that to open. My internet connection's a little slow today. Once you click into the module for week 1, you see this. This is the MindEdge reading material, and you see you've got exercises 1-1 through 1-6. As you work your way through, you've got some videos, you've got a discussion that you read here in MindEdge, but that you go back into Brightspace discussions and you post your response there, and then you keep working your way through MindEdge exercises for the week. Once you get to 1-4, you'll notice that it is a reading selection opportunity. You'll click on this library guide, and it says you can select only one for the project. That is correct. When you click on that library guide link, you get to this space. This is within the SNHU library, and you see that you have 1 of 4 article options: caring for your introvert, talk to me, the high price of multitasking, or why the beach is a bummer. Note that when you choose this assignment, when you choose this reading, it's going to be the reading you're going to be stuck with. So you're going to be working within for the next couple of weeks. And that mimics, academic research you do later in the term, or not later in this term, but later in your experience as a university student, where you're working with different articles across an entire semester or year, especially when you move into higher end research projects. So you'll choose one of these articles and you'll go back and you'll click on the reading. This reading right here, 1-5, introduces you to all the different support systems in play at school, and then 1-6, writing notes. This is a warm-up exercise to get you ready to start talking about your selected reading. So if you go to the top of exercise 1-6, you've got some background and let you know that this is a graded assignment. We've got another repeated link to the selected readings here. So if you've missed it in 1-4, you can see it again in 1-6. The rubric is below. I'll go over that in just a second. The rubric's really important. With this assignment, with exercise 1-6, you're doing what's called a literal reading. You're making sure that you understand the text and that you can explain in summary what does the text say to people who may or may not have read the same one that you did. You're imagining an academic audience of professor and classmates. Remember, not all of your classmates are going to take the same article that you did, so you're explaining it to them to show concept mastery, to show that you understand it, right? So your exercise 1-6 will have 4 parts. Some of them are shorter, some of them are a little bit longer, but nothing, this assignment itself won't be more than a page total. Okay, number 1, what article for your long-term critical analysis project did you choose? Just list the title and the author's name. When you list titles of shorter articles like this, put the title in quotes. That's a good writer's habit. I'll be reminding you of that across the term. What is the purpose or reasoning for them writing this text? You're not reading like subtext. You're reading like straight. What's the straightforward reason for them to talk about why the beach is a bummer? What is the straightforward reason for them to discuss issues with multitasking, for example, right? What pieces of evidence from the text led you to arrive at that decision? And what audience do you believe this author is writing for? I've already introduced you to the idea that when you write exercise 1-6, your audience is academic, right? Your audience is professor always first, and then classmates, unless the professor designates a different initial or primary audience. So those are the 4 questions that you answer. So this should be, a pretty efficient assignment for you. You'll write your work in a Word document. If you're using like a Google Docs, or if you're using Apple or Mac Pages, you want to save as and save it as a Word document. It does not populate easily into the system without it being a doc or a docx file. Those are the ones that I strongly recommend. And you can also submit a PDF file, right? And here's how it's going to be graded. So once you've worked on the answers to those 4 questions, what you want to do is print out, if you can, your responses and print out this table that you see in front of you here. And the reason for that is that any assignment rubric is a contract between your professor and you. And what it says is that your professor promises to grade you based on these categories only. And the categories are article, purpose, evidence, audience, and articulation of response. And that means like grammar and mechanics, right? A clear organization as well. The categories that are being weighed are proficiency. This is the beginning of the term. Did you understand the assignment mostly? And you're actually going to get 100%. Some assignments going forward, the proficiency will be 80%, but right now we're easing you into it. So right now, if you understood the assignment pretty well, you're going to get a pretty high grade based on that. So for example, for the article, did you list the title and the author of the selected work? Maybe you only listed the title but not the author, and you would get a needs improvement grade there. If you didn't list either, you wouldn't get any points for that part of the assignment, and that's worth overall 22% of the assignment instead of 100 points, right? Describes the author's purpose, describes the evidence that supports the author's purpose, and identifies the author's audience, determines potential challenges. And notice a lot of times in this assignment, students will get needs improvement because they'll do one of these, but they won't do the other. The audience is 2 parts. Who's your audience and what are the challenges that this writer had in writing to that audience? And then finally, articulation of response has to do with grammar and mechanics. Clearly conveys meaning with grammar, sentence structure, and spelling, demonstrating an understanding of audience and purpose. And this is why Microsoft Word is so important. Microsoft Word is much more dynamic than Google Docs, and it's much more dynamic than Pages as far as software goes and OpenOffice. You want to use the grammar and the spell checker, and you can go onto YouTube and you can find videos depending on the software, which version you have. You could go on and look up that version and how to turn on grammar and spell check and find some really great professorial YouTube videos to turn that on. This is 10% of your assignment grade, and you want to make sure that you tackle it. 1 or 2 errors, not a big deal. A lot of repeatable errors needs improvement. No grammar and spell check checked at all, and then it makes the reading confusing. You know, a lot of fragmented sentences and things like that, then you may get a not evident category. But for this first assignment, it's pretty short, and I don't anticipate that that's going to happen quite a bit. So once you're done with your Word document and you've checked it against the assignment rubric, save it. And you go back into Brightspace, and you go to your course menu, and you choose assignments right here. This is what you'll see. These are not all of the discussions, you've got a few of those, but these are your major gradable assignments in the course. There are some quizzes and things peppered into MindEdge, and then there's the discussions, but these are like the weekly, most every week. There's one that's not in week 6, but most every week gradable assignment where I can give you feedback, you and I get to work together. And to submit, you just click right here into the assignment title. I apologize, it's taking my computer a little bit of time to load. And then once you click in, you see this. It says the assignment writing notes. It's got the rubric reprinted here just as a reminder. And there should be a place right here you add your file. If you have any notes or feedback you want to leave for me, you can. I usually don't grade the comments here, but it is something absolutely that you can do. And you can also always, you know, play with the formatting in here, but it's something I wouldn't recommend. I think that attaching a file, you just click add a file, you search your computer for the file, you click upload. Let's see, you can find any file that you want to do, and then click add. You'll see your file here. Once it is in there, that's just a picture from a wedding, but you'll see yours and it should have a .doc or .x. Then you click submit. Once you've done that, you have submitted your assignment. Let's see. File submission successful. Remember, these are due at the end of each week. Weeks are Sunday night, so you want to make sure you do them early, and that you'll notice that once you submit an assignment, you will actually get a confirmation email, so you can always check your email to make sure the assignment is in there. So that's how you find the readings and how you performed the big first week's assignment. If you have any questions on this, just reach out and let me know. I look forward to chatting with you soon and seeing your work at the end of the week.